I am pumped up for this weekend. I've got NASCAR plays for you guys. I've got NFL player props, and I've got NFL sides, including my favorite teaser of the weekend, my favorite dog of the weekend, my favorite Moneyline parlay of the weekend, and also my two favorite spreads against the weekend. Let's go and do this. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason. Welcome on into the weekend. That's right. We're on the Friday edition here of Winning Bets. We're giving you guys those free sports picks every single day. And got an announcement here on the show. I'm going to be moving location. That's right. I'm getting kicked up out of this bedroom because little man is coming up into this bedroom. I got to move the operation on the other side of this wall. I'm moving on into the master bedroom. How freaking cool is that? I'm moving into the master bedroom. Woo! Super exciting times moving the office on into the bedroom. So, yeah, I'll be in a new location, but I'll still be giving you guys the same winning bets come next week. You won't even know any difference. Just be in a different location is what I'll be in. All right, let's go ahead now, move it on into the recap, and let's give you guys these weekend slate of bets. I am fired up. We got some good bets for you guys this weekend. I'm excited to give them to you. You guys can see right there yesterday, we went 1-3, down a little bit of money, and now down a good little bit on the week, down a little bit up over 3 units. What went our way? We got over both teams to score and over 2.5. And that Belgium versus France game, boy, that one cashed nice and easily for us there in that second half. That was actually a fun game. We ended up losing in that process, Belgium, to go ahead and advance. Belgium, I did not watch that first half, but just basing it off of, what the commentators said there in that first kind of 10 minutes, and obviously then what I saw in my eye and reading the stats and what have you, Belgium was obviously fully in control in that first half and getting that nice 2-0 win, or 2-0 lead there in that first half. And then the second half, at least from me, I'm a neutral. I mean, I know I had money on Belgium, but kind of, watching that game from a neutral standpoint, so to speak, that was an absolutely fantastic second half of football. France was all over Belgium with their pressing, with their attacking. Belgium could not get it up out of their own end. They were struggling. They were, trying to play it out and be it all cute. A couple times there with Courtois and the center backs, and absolutely struggling. France was just all over them. If you're a neutral, that was definitely a good, half of soccer, good half of football to go ahead and watch and be entertained in right there. And obviously in that process, France gets 3 goals and goes ahead and sinks the Belgium to advance, which was really unfortunate. You thought, obviously, going to halftime 2-0, you felt pretty good about that. But, yeah, no, credit France. They were all over Belgium in that second half. So, that's all right. We were able to scrape out profit, though, in that game because both of those bets were at plus money. We hit the bigger of those two because the over 2.5 in both teams to score was at plus 155. So, we did come out of that game with some profit. Then we gave it right back, though, in the nighttime. Team to score 3 unanswered times. That actually happened. And the thing that upsets me is I talked about how I was going to give you guys 2 bets, and they were highly correlated. They had both won 6 out of 8 times, and they had both lose the other 2 times. Well, of course, last night they split. There was never a lead of over 14.5 points. So that's the run I'm on right now, guys. Just picking the wrong things or getting red cards in soccer games to really screw me. So yeah, the one I didn't pick goes ahead and cashes. Team to score under 3 unanswered. That one did not cash, unfortunately. And then also under 59.5, that was a nice easy one. But Seahawks plus 4. If you were back on the Seahawks in any capacity, you would not have bet them had you known Geno Smith was going to enter that game. That is not a situation you want to be a Seattle backer with seeing Geno Smith. I know he did good, but the fact of the matter is the Seahawks wasted 1 possession. You had the possession where Russell Wilson got hit there on that last pass. Then they tried him out there for the next possession to see if he could give it a go. 3 and out. A complete waste of possession there by Seattle. They immediately know that Russell Wilson couldn't continue on that game. They entered Geno Smith. I understand he did, go ahead and throw a touchdown pass there to Metcalf and looked pretty good at you on that drive. But then the fact of the matter is everybody who was watching that game, just like me, who had money on Seattle, or maybe you didn't have money on Seattle and you were just watching that game, when Russell Wilson went out and you said, who's their backup? And when the announcers show and or say, whichever one came first, and they said it was Geno Smith, and you said, oh shit, yeah, then it was that Geno Smith that went ahead and showed up in that game after that touchdown. It was absolutely terrible, missing reads, missing throws, throwing interceptions. That Geno Smith showed up, and that Geno Smith sunk the Seahawks plus 4.5. Obviously, he was an absolute killer. He's a killer. He's a terrible quarterback. There's a reason why he's been shipped around throughout the league. He's a backup quarterback. You never even hear about him. Guy's absolutely terrible. So unfortunate that we lost Russell Wilson in that game and we couldn't get that Seahawks cover. That would have been a good plus money. But I'm still fired up. I'm still fired up. Yeah, another losing day. You know what? You get right back up off the mat, baby. We're getting right back off the mat. We're gonna keep on firing away, and we're gonna look for these bets again. I've got a video coming out after this one, guys. You guys know I always make these content for these fantasy games we play. Well, this Sunday night, baby, it's Bills, it's Chiefs, and it's over on the NBC Sports Predictor app for $100,000. I spent so much time researching that because I've ultimately got the Bills to win that game. I mean, come on. But I don't want to come off as like a super homer. So I felt like the amount of research I put into that to convince people that the Bills could actually win that game, it is a lot of research. It's a lot of time. I can't wait to actually make that video immediately after that. But the reason I'm telling you guys on this daily show is I've got bets. I've got bets from that game, of course. That's not too big of a shocker. Let me actually pull up my notes. I'll just tell you guys how many notes, because I'm literally going to make this immediately after. Let me tell you how many bets I got. Got one. I got 12 bets from that game. 12 bets from that game. So if you want to any of those bets, and a lot of them are at plus money. Let's see how many of those are at plus money. I got, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of those 12 are at plus money. So what I'm going to say is, or what I was going to lead up to saying is, none of those bets make today's daily show. I'm going to put all that together in that video for a chance of $100,000. Then after I give out my picks for that NBC Sports Predictor prize, I'm going to hit you guys with the 12 bets. I'm just going to keep it on there because I got to justify it really good that the Bills are going to beat those Chiefs, and I can't wait to make that video. So in terms of today's daily show, I've got 2 NASCAR head-to-head bets. Let's just go ahead and kick it off here with NASCAR. They're at the Charlotte ROVAL. Of course, I already made this weekly's NASCAR video there with William uploaded. It's been up for a couple days. Hopefully, you guys have had a chance to check it out. Let me just go ahead and hit you these with really no justification. I'm taking Denny Hamlin over William Byron at minus 120 at DraftKings. And I'm also taking Kurt Busch over Ross Chastain at minus 115 over at DraftKings. Again, this race is on Sunday afternoon. Should be a fantastic race there at the ROVAL. It's the cutoff race before they enter round 3 of the playoffs. You guys remember we took last week off from making head-to-head bets because they were at the Super Speedway. The week before that, though, we did cash our one and only NASCAR play doing Matt DiBenedetto up over was it Chastain? Was it DiBenedetto? I think it was DiBenedetto up over Chastain. Well, they're at a road course, predictable race, going right back to it. I'm going to hit you guys with my 2 favorite NASCAR head-to-heads, doing Hamlin over Byron and Kurt Busch over Ross Chastain. All right, let's go ahead now and move it on over to the NFL action where I've got player props. I've got my favorite 2 against the spread bets for you this weekend. I've got my favorite Moneyline parlay for you this weekend. And I've got you my favorite dog of the weekend. So let's go ahead and do those player props first. Let's go ahead and do Dalvin Cook over 69.5 rushing yards at minus 115 over at DraftKings. This is only cashed in 1 of 3. Keep in mind he obviously missed 1 week due to an ankle injury, but he got 1 cash out of the 3. And then his most recent game, he was mixed in really slow. They kind of eased him back into the rotation there coming off that ankle injury. I think he's going to be full go, though. He's averaging 4.4 yards per carry on the season. The Lions allow 4.4 yards per carry, and he's actually been crushing these Lions in his career. In 2020, he went for 206 yards. In 2019, he went for 142 and 62 yards. And in 2018, he went for 73 and 89 yards. So got into cash in all but one of those games. Sometimes a guy just like does really good against an opponent. A team does really good against an opponent. But that player just is like, okay, it's the Lions. Like, I crush these fools. And I expect one of those games from him. Just a team that he's absolutely dominated with in his career. He's 2 weeks now removed from an ankle injury. They eased him into the rotation last week. I expect his normal full load. He should be ready to go. He should not be mixed in slowly this week. It should just be ready to go. So a guy that's been crushing the opponent, this number is too low. He's going to absolutely run up and down all over these Lions. So give me Dalvin Cook over 69.5 rushing yards. The next one I'm going to do is Dan Arnold. You guys remember Dan Arnold. We got a cash with him a couple weeks ago. We're going to do Dan Arnold over 23.5 receiving yards at minus 115 up over at DraftKings. It cashed in his only start against the Jaguars. You guys remember watching that Thursday night game there up against the Bengals. He got 2 passes from Trevor Lawrence and looked good, got up the field and basically did what he did in that previous start where he cashed this bet for us when he went up against Thursday night when he was a member of the Panthers going up against the Texans. It also cashed in week 2 when he was a member of the Panthers, so like that, he knows the offense now more. He only got 2 targets in that win up against the Bengals, or I guess that loss up against the Bengals there on Thursday night. but now he knows the offense more. 10 more days have gone by. They're going to be able to work him into this mix more. You saw the reason why they, went out and traded for him. He's just a good pass-catching tight end. With knowing the offense more, I think he's going to get 4. Maybe he gets 5 targets, but it could just be 4 targets. Expect him to catch it, do damage. He's averaging 14.5 yards per catch as a Jaguar. It was 12.6 yards per catch as a Panther. And the Titans allow 12.9 yards per catch, which is 31st in the league. So they're already giving up big plays. You got a really good pass-catching tight end here, one who's just more incorporated up into the offense, having those full 10 days off. So absolutely like this right here. So we'll do Dan Arnold over 23.5 receiving yards at -115 over DraftKings. All right, so let's go ahead and remind you guys of some player props because I've already given a couple out throughout the course of the week. So we're doing that Dalvin Cook over 69.5 yards. We'll do Dan Arnold over 23.5 yards. We'll do Jamison Crowder over 4.5 catches at -120. We'll do Dawson Knox over 30.5 yards at -125. And that actually does count as one of the 12 bets that I'm going to hit you guys with later on that Bills-Chiefs video. So only 11 new bets to hit you guys with that. 11 new bets. I cannot wait for this Bills versus Chiefs game, dog. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for it. And you got Gesicki. Already gave you guys that one. Over 40.5 receiving yards at -115. Let me guys hit you now with my 2 favorite spreads, my favorite money line parlay, and my favorite dog of the weekend. Let's go ahead and do those Eagles plus 3.5 at -115 over at BetRivers. They're obviously going up against the Panthers. We saw last week the Panthers aren't who we thought they are. Talked about that on last week's video when we made the Fox Bet Super 6. That was going to be a test for them going up against the Cowboys. Thought that they would struggle. They looked good, of course, at the moment. Sam Darnold, getting some rushing touchdowns, but they went up against a better class. Not that the Eagles are on the class of the Cowboys by any stretch, but go ahead and look up the stats for this. They're better in some key areas. They have better average per plays in both the rushing and passing game. Their defense is right there with Carolina. Carolina plays some soft opponents. They get exposed one week against the Cowboys, and now their numbers come up to kind of where the rest of the league is right there. So I think the Eagles can do it. I think they can keep this game within a field goal. I think Jalen Hurts will have himself a nice day coming into this game. So give me those Eagles plus 3.5 points. The other one I like here is Cardinals minus 4.5 at -106 over at FanDuel. They're obviously going up against the 49ers. Not quite sure who their quarterback's going to be, whether it's going to be Lance or Garoppolo. Not overly too concerned right here. I mean, all we got to do is not have a letdown spot. You saw the Rams kind of have a letdown spot when they went into that game against the Cardinals and they lost it. As long as the Cardinals don't have a letdown spot, they should have no problem beating these 49ers, I think, by at least 5 points or more. They're by far the better team on the offensive standpoint, just way more firepower. Their defense can hang with the 49ers defense right there. Special teams is even right there. So like them on their home field to cover that minus 4.5. Let's just hope we don't get a letdown spot from them. Then my favorite teaser, I forgot, I was going to give you guys a teaser. My favorite teaser is Pats minus 1.5 and Vikings minus 3, and you can get that at minus 136. Got the Pats going up against the Texans. They should absolutely handle them. I mean, they're going to handle it. This is a bad team, the Texans, to have to go up against Bill Belichick coaching. When you're struggling, when you can't find your way and all you do is make mistakes, you do not want to go up against a Bill Belichick coach team. Remember what he did last season when the Chargers were struggling? They were competitive and, they were losing late in games, but mainly it was their special teams that Belichick was like, okay, if they can't do this, and what they get, like 2 block punts in that game, punts returned for touchdown, like Bill Belichick will expose what you do really, really bad. So, yeah, they're going to handle them. And then the Vikings, I absolutely like them going up this weekend as well. So I think they'll obviously be able to handle business going up against the Lions. I think they'll win that game by at least a field goal. They're going to be able to control the clock, control the ground, and really just hammer those Lions. So like that, that's my favorite teaser of the weekend. My favorite money line parlay is taking those Titans up over the Jaguars. They're going to have a bounce back spot going up against the Jets. And plus the Jaguars, hell, their head coach was at the club on Saturday night. You think those players are listening to anything Urban Meyer says? You think they're listening? I mean, those players like to get after. We see the stories of them going out and having fun, not suggesting that they're going to go out and do anything wild and crazy, but they're not listening to anything Urban Meyer says anymore. He's up on the club grinding with some 19-year-old. And now those boys are like, all right, that's what our leader is doing. The Jaguars are a mess. So, yeah, Titans will have a nice bounce back. They'll be able to come back and just parlay them with the Bucks. That's a big spread. It's minus 10.5 going up against the Dolphins. They'll beat the Dolphins in some capacity by so many points. Not sure how many points that they go ahead and beat the Dolphins by, but surely they'll go ahead and beat the Dolphins. So, like those Titans, Bucks is my favorite money line parlay of the weekend. So, I'll do that at minus 119. And then for my favorite dog of the weekend, I'm taking the Washington football team. They're going up against the Saints. Look, they've got the recipe to make a Jameis Winston bad performance, right? We know Jameis Winston can be good or he can be bad, but that defensive line, maybe it hasn't played at the potential so far, but it's always there. It can always have a good game. And when you combine that with a quarterback that can always have a bad game, I think this is a game where the defense there can shine. You saw that they had a great comeback last week up against the Falcons, so this team has fight. Heineken's a good quarterback. I mean, everybody remembers what he did last year in the playoffs against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers could never really pull that game, really pull away from Washington because Heineke had himself a good game up against the Falcons in that comeback win. So he's a good quarterback. He can get the job done. If we just get some help from that defense, if they can start to play kind of like who they are, and I think they can, coming off a good win against the Falcons team, now coming home, they get a quarterback that can certainly be rattled. You can throw him into a bad game easily by the performance of your play. So give me Washington as my favorite dog of the weekend at plus 120. All right, guys, that's how we're doing. I'm super pumped for these two NASCAR plays, pumped for these NFL player props. Obviously, again, we got some sides there that we've got going on, whether that's teasers, money lines, dogs, what have you there. And then, of course, guys, now make sure you check out Bills Chiefs video for a chance to win $100,000 on NBC Sports Predictor and 12 bets I'm going to hit you guys from that game. I am super pumped. Cannot wait for it. Guys, enjoy your weekend. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic weekend. We look forward to getting you guys back in on Monday. We'll recap all these bets, see how the weekend unfolded, and then we'll kick off a new week of winning bets from a new location, but the same winning bets. All right, guys, you guys go have a good one. Thanks for watching till the end. I'm Jason Mattis. Any love you can show by giving me a like, a subscription, or a comment, or even just share this video is very much appreciated. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to increase your chances of locking in the same odds as I talked about today. And check out my other great videos in these corners.